What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. And if you would like to support the channel, you would like to support the show, please be a supporter on our Patreon site. For just as little as $2 a day, you can support this show, help it become bigger and better. And in exchange, you'll get exclusive content that nobody else gets to see. But today I want to talk about something that really resonated with me, right? Really sparked, the wheels in my head after I heard about it. So the last weekend was the Rolling Loud Festival. First of all, shout out to Rolling Loud Festival, because for better or for worse, you got some promotion, because I honestly never even knew this festival existed. And I have not too much knowledge, but I feel like I know at least a lot about a lot of different festivals that go on, especially when it deals with hip hop. So, up until this incident, I didn't know what the Rolling Loud Festival was, but I'll definitely be on the lookout for it in 2018. But the biggest thing to come out of that weekend was that A Boogie and allegedly PNB Rock and like 9-10 other dudes decided to jump Lil B right before his set. They jumped him, they took all his stuff, so he had to come out and, with letting everybody know that he got jumped, he also let everybody know that, hey, he would not be performing because, these people stole his stuff. And I was like, yo, and Lil B, shouts out to Lil B, man. Like, I was never the biggest fan of his music. He's had some bright spots. For the most part, I've never been a fan of his music, but just the approach that he took with dealing with this situation, coming out to talk to the fans and letting them know about the situation, being upfront and honest about it, but at the same time, not looking for retaliation, not looking, to talk crap about these dudes and say fuck A Boogie, fuck PNB Rock, fuck all them dudes. Like, he decided to say, hey man, fuck it, it's all love, and he just want to take the higher road, and he's even willing to have a conversation with these dudes so we can get our differences settled. To be that much of a bigger person, I appreciate it, because I don't think I would be in that mindset after being jumped by 10 dudes, even though it really didn't look like he got jumped by 10 dudes. If he was able to stand on stage and kind of brush everything off and still be energetic and be ready to perform if he had all his stuff that y'all decided to steal. It's obviously y'all need to kind of get up on your muscle. Like, early in the week, Charlamagne gave him Donkey of the Day, and that was one of the things that I, kind of caught on to. Like, damn, it's 10 dudes jump one dude, and he's not on his way to the hospital. He's not hurting. He looks perfectly fine. Y'all might need to work on your combat skills, because if 10 of y'all can't really put a scratch on Lil B, then y'all might be in trouble when y'all face some people that's really gonna give y'all that action back. I just want to put that out there. But when I found out, like, now when I say this, there isn't any concrete evidence that this is what caused the situation. There's no concrete evidence that this is the reason why these guys decided to put fist and boots to Lil B. But the rumored issue that they said sparked this whole situation was because Lil B put out a tweet. He put out a tweet basically saying, why doesn't New York hip hop sound like, have their own sound? Why are most of the new guys, with an exception of a few that he named, why do they all sound like Dej Loaf and Young Thug and Future? Like, why do they sound like rappers from other areas? Why don't New York hip hop got their own shit? And PNB Rock, is PNB Rock from New York? I don't know. I don't keep up with these dudes. I don't like none of their music. I know A Boogie is from Harlem, apparently, and you know, listening to the guy's music, you would never tell. I didn't know that until this whole situation came out, because, you know, when people were saying that it might have been this tweet that caused this whole situation, and the fact that I was like, well, what does A Boogie got to do with that? And I'm like, oh, he's a New York artist. Like, oh shit, I had no idea. Like, and you know, because of the internet, because of how blended everything is, how close everything feels, you know, people can, you know, not bite off sounds, but they can be influenced by sounds from all different regions. It doesn't have to be specifically what is, you know, the area that you're in and all that other shit. So like, you know, so that's whatever. But this is what sparked the whole mindset, and what this episode is about today is the fact that this whole situation started because somebody critiqued you. Somebody, not even you specifically, but just said something that basically, if the shoe fits, wear it type of situation, where you felt that sensitive and you felt that emotional about it that you had to put your hands on another man just because he said he didn't like your music, or he said that you need to, you know, you and your area need to step their game up. And that's my problem with a lot of shit, you know. And I'm not even gonna just say it's a generational thing, because I remember hearing stories about artists from the 90s, like if a DJ had something bad to say about, you know, your music, they'll come beat you up at the club, then like the next time they see you. Or, you know, there were stories about if a DJ was acting funny or like, you know, talking shit like, yo, they whack. Yo, like Big Pun, the stories of Big Pun like intimidating, beating up, even rolling up and kidnapping DJs and radio personality just because they didn't play their music or they dissed their music or whatever. And I've always had a problem with that. And now it's even worse because, you know, if you say something negative about somebody's music nowadays, right? If you say, I'm not feeling your shit, like you don't even have to be viciously attacking them, but if you say, I don't like your music, they get all hypersensitive. The first person that comes to mind outside of this situation is Wale. I'm a big Wale fan. Well, let me not say a big fan. I feel like he is incredibly underrated. He's definitely does not deserve a lot of the crap that he gets, and I feel like his music is suffering because of the reputation that has followed this man, and he's just misunderstood in my opinion. But one thing I didn't like was back in like, I think it was like 2014, 2015, he got into this whole issue with Complex magazine just because they didn't put him on the top 100 best albums of that year, like an end of year list, and his album wasn't on it. And I thought the album was good, but Complex magazine decided to not feature your music and basically saying that you didn't fit or you wasn't good enough to be on their top 100 list. And he went at them so heavy and so hard, but the way he went about it, it just made him look like a clown. And I feel like there's a lot of that shit that just needs to stop. Like, people need criticism. There's an important element to criticism that a lot of people do not get. Like, if somebody told me they didn't like my music, I'm gonna listen to what you have to say. And I'm either gonna be three, you know, I'm gonna come up with three outcomes, you know, of how I personally, you know, process this information. And then I could come up to either A, this person just may not be, you know, the audience that I'm looking for. You might be into A Boogie and PNB Rock and Lil Yachty and Lil Uzi Vert. And at the end of the day, that's your prerogative, man. That's what you want to listen to. That's your taste. That's your feel. You don't want to listen to, you know, lyrics and storytelling and, you know, whatever I'm bringing to the table you're not into, that's fine. But then I could also say that, hey, maybe this person is, you know, giving me little pointers or like he sees something. Like, I remember when I first started rapping, and how my music was just like bars and bars and bars. Like, I just wanted to be the best rapper, so I'll hit you with so many, like I would barely have a hook, or like, you know, the hook will be there, but it's barely there. Like everything is just focused on just getting all these lyrics out there. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of times I didn't even have a hook. I'll just be rapping. And then somebody told me like, yo, what you doing is all right, but if you structure the song this way, if you know, made it a little bit more of a song, you have a hook in there, you know, like to catch people, you know, like something that people can recite, you know, something that they, you know, people know is coming. Like when they hear the song, they know at some point this part is gonna come in and it's gonna be the refrain that's gonna stick with them, stick in their head and their mind or whatever. Like at first, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a kid, like I had to be like 13, 14 years old at this point, and I was looking at people like, nah, forget that. But eventually, I sat down, I thought about it. I was like, yo, that's how a lot of my favorite songs are, and that's how a lot of the music that I listen to. That's kind of how the formula and the structure and all that. That's what they, you know, do. And maybe I need to implement this. Then bam, like all of a sudden, I'm getting better responses from my music because I decided to take this guy's advice. But I could have just wrote him off as a hater. And that's the third mindset. But this is the one that I feel like everybody goes to immediately, and that's somebody's a hater. And you could tell. Like I feel like you need to listen to this information that's being given to you, or this person's opinion that is being given to you. Because at the end of the day, everyone has an opinion. You're never gonna escape that. You're never gonna escape somebody having something to say about you, whether it's good or bad. Especially when you're doing music, or you're in a public forum, or you're in a situation where you're on stage and you're trying to get people's attention. You're gonna get people's attention, and people are gonna take what they see and take what they hear, and they're gonna form their own opinions about it. That's how life works. That's why we have opinions in the first place, so we can make up our own mind about shit. That's okay. It's okay that out of 50 people, 20 people didn't like your song, or 40 people didn't like your song. Whatever. At the end of the day, you either listen to the information and you apply it, because there might be some parts that what they're saying is true and you need to work on it, or you just keep doing what you're doing. At the end of the day, if this is what you want to do, or if you're secure in yourself, you don't have to worry about other people's opinions. If you feel like this is what you're doing and nothing's gonna change that, you stand firm in your position on whatever you decided to do. But the problem is, and the reason why these dudes get so hypersensitive, or these people get so emotional and be ready to lash out and fight and all this other stuff, is because they're not secure in their position. They're not confident enough to listen to these people's opinions and just say, all right, that's cool, but I'm gonna do what I'm doing and I'm gonna keep moving how I'm moving. You know, either you listen to it, you take the advice. I mean, there's some people that are just gonna say, you know, shit with no merit. It's like, he's just whack. Why is he whack? Because he is. Okay, well, forget that dude, because he obviously doesn't know how to complete a fucking thought, or he doesn't have any type of basis to go along with his argument. Only thing he can say is that you're a hater, and that's the end of it. You know, so what? Forget that. You know, but don't be so ready to jump down people's throats just because they don't like your music. Don't be so quick to jump down somebody's throat just because they didn't like your movie, or they didn't like your television show. They didn't like your painting. They didn't like your poem. They didn't like your comedy. You know, I remember Nene Leakes got kicked off of, I forgot what tour it was, let me be real. But she, you know, she was doing comedy. She was doing stand-up. And a heckler was like, you know, talking shit. So she was like, I hope you get raped by the Uber driver on the way home. And I'm like, you know, that's when you got touched. That's when you let somebody else's opinion touch you to the point where it takes you out of your element, and now you up there looking stupid. Would you rather the people walk away saying that you had a bad comedy act, or would you rather be grabbing headlines because you wish rape on somebody else? I really think that the former is a whole lot better than the latter. And for this situation, this little B getting jumped by these whack ass rapper, R&B, whatever the fuck they want to be, it's just another example of, look, if you're going to be in the entertainment industry, or if you're going to be, you know, something in life in general, even when you don't want to be anything with your life, you can't escape other people's opinions. So you either need to stand firm in your position, or maybe you need to listen to what these people got to say, because they might either be trying to help you do better in what you're doing, or they might be telling you you need to quit. Because A Boogie, PNB Rock, and anybody else that agrees, or anybody else that was in that melee when it was all over Lil B, you might be the ones that need to stop. Period. And I'm gonna let you take that however you want to. But that's my time. I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode. Tune in next week for another installment of Dangerous Minds. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, support the Patreon site, and I'll see you next week. Peace, much love.